Welcome back to Game Plan with Shaka. Smart. Pretty good three-game stretch for Mo Bamba. These are the last three games. 17, 11, and 6 in the win against Alabama. Had a career-high 22 points and 8 blocks against Kansas in the Big 12 opener. And then coming off a career-high 16 rebound performance against Iowa State. And Shaka, the thing that's so impressive to me about those numbers, that's coming after the struggles against Tennessee State. And if you look at how well he played earlier this season at VCU, coming off some of the struggles that he had in Portland. So it seems like whenever he has those down moments, there's a fire lit in him. Maybe you like that fire, but it comes out even better.
Well, I put one word on that, and that is humility. Sometimes when you have a tough performance, it actually puts in you a level of understanding that you have to do something maybe a little bit different than you did the last time out. And Mo's been terrific in the last few games. His aggressiveness has ramped up. I mean, we saw this last year with Jarrett.
Yeah.
Right around the same time of year, kind of gaining an understanding of, hey, here's what I have to do now at the college level. Here's what's going to allow me to be effective. Different game, but the same type of mindset in terms of being more aggressive and more assertive. Very
smart young man. Also seems like he's a very humble young man. Sometimes that mentality, being humble, does that prevent guys from taking over maybe more than they're doing and they should do?
Sometimes it does, but I don't think that's the case with Mo. I think, with him, humility is a good thing. It's an understanding that, hey, in high school, I could do whatever.
Yeah.
I could play a C game and still dominate. At the college level, I've got to be at my best. And he learned about that playing against Cameron Lard last night. We talked about, hey, this guy is going to be motivated. He's going to want to come at you. And, Mo had to kind of ramp up his aggressiveness as the game went on, and he did.
Because like we talked about in our first show, anybody that sees the opportunity against Mo Bamba, they're going to take that to try to make a name for themselves. Bill Self may have given him, in a way, a great nickname. Perhaps you can call him the Eclipse, after Bill Self said that Mo Bamba could even block the sun after seeing him with 8 rejections against the Kansas Jayhawks. And let's focus now on his shot blocking ability, because it just seems natural. With this size and the athletic ability, he makes it look easy.
Well, he's really good with his timing. And when you add that to his length, here you're going to end up seeing him switch on a ball screen. Now he's guarding a guard, but he stays in front of him. That's the key. And then he just jumps and keeps his arms up. Great timing, great length, great athleticism.
And guys that size aren't supposed to have that kind of footwork, right?
Well, he does have very good feet. Here you see him again. Timing is huge there. Jumping is exactly the right time.
So that was...
there's one more on here. They end up driving the ball. And see, you got to know which ones you can go get, Lowell, because you don't want to leave your man and go try to get one that you can't. And he's done a really nice job of that.
Is that hard for guys to get that feel when you start getting the blocks and you start maybe hunting ones that are out of your range or out of the realm of what's good for your team?
Well, let me tell you what I'm talking about here. So if I'm guarding you, this will be like the 5'10" version.
I love it. I love it.
And the guy drives, all right, and I leave you and jump up to block it. Even if he misses, but it goes over and it hits the rim, and most rebounds go to the weak side.
Yep.
Now you're in prime position. Let's say we're playing on a 9-foot hoop.
And I'm dunking.
Let's say we're playing on a 9-foot
dunking on your face, and I'm mean mugging.
To go finish that off. So that's only happened maybe a handful of times in our last several games. So Mo's learning to be discerning about that. But obviously, if he can go get it, we want him to go get it.
He's also showing the signs of the true great shot blockers, that it's not just how many rows deep can I put this basketball. It's after I get this shot, how can it set up, not just my teammates, but in these clips, these blocks end up setting himself up in transition.
Well, I think he's learning that if he can keep the ball alive, a lot of times it's going to come back to him. So great block, Dylan gets it. Now look at him run the floor.
That's beautiful.
I mean, he takes the same number of strides as Matt Coleman, but covers twice as much ground.
Crazy.
Here you see it again. Does a great job switching out. That was just him. That wasn't something we told him to do. Does a great job switching out. We steal it. Again, he runs the floor, calls for the ball. And those are the type of finishes that we want to put in position to make.
And he is fun to watch in transition. Here's the final example of another block against Kansas.
Yeah, he does a nice job here, again, keeping the ball alive and in play so a teammate can get it. And now we can run. And Matt especially does a nice job finding him. And those are the type of shots we want to get here.
Yeah, one of the better, more entertaining plays this year was Matt just tossing it behind his head against VCU. Bamba with the rejection, or I should say the flush in transition. Next example, Bamba with the blocks to now set up his teammates in transition offense.
Yeah, I mean, when he blocks a shot, it allows us to get out in transition. And to be honest, Lowell, that's when we're at our best offensively, is when we can beat the other team down the floor. So really good timing by him. He keeps it alive. So he could have thrown that one to me.
Yeah.
But you notice there he didn't block it as hard because he wanted Snoop to go get it. That's a sign of maturity. That's what Bill Russell did to win 11 titles with the Celtics.
Yeah.
He kept those balls alive. So here you see Snoop attacking in transition, and he gets fouled.
So
really important.
Sends Snoop to the line, so Bamba setting up his teammates. And here's another example also against Kansas.
Yeah, again, his man's trying to seal him. He does a nice job making sure that there's no angle allowed. And he blocks it right to Matt. Okay, and now we can run, and he runs the floor. And because he runs, that allows us to, continue attacking. Matt gets a drive, and we score.
And then one final example in the Bamba block extravaganza.
Yeah, here you see him, again, it helps when he's already around the basket because now he can just rotate and block. But he blocks the shot right to Dylan. Dylan attacks, and he's able to get all the way to the basket.
And then to go back to the game that we just saw at Iowa State, critical moment in that game as well. He has a two-possession sequence where skies for a rebound, saves it off the opponent, so your basketball, then the next defensive possession down comes up with a huge rejection.
He has an ability to use footwork that, belies his size and just, body type. He really has very good feet. Picture him as a ballerina.
Wow, okay. He's got that mental image. It may not be gone anytime soon. But also his ability to work with Dylan Osikowski. We know this is all a process. Yep. Where are they and where are you guys in finding what combination is best, offensively and defensively, how they work best off of each other and where to put them?
Well, they work best off of each other when they're aggressive. So you saw Dylan shoot 20 balls last night, 13 of them threes. That's what we want. We want him to be aggressive. In the Kansas game, Mo got 16 shot attempts. We want those guys to get a lot of shot attempts. We want them to be aggressive. Part of that is on them. Part of that, if we want to do another demonstration.
Okay, let's do it.
If you're the defender, all right, we want to seal with our hips.
Come on, man.
All right, with our hips. See how I got into
you? Yeah, you got into me. I felt
it. Both of those guys, we want them sealing with all of our bigs so that we can get them the ball and they can go score.
All right. Well, that's a good example of that. My hips
You're obviously not used to that level.
No, Coach Barnes never did that. He never tried to put me on the deck. What's up with this? I like, though, the involvement between the two of us right here. So with Bamba, you know him so well because this is part of the great job you do in recruiting. You don't just know the player, but you know the person as well. You get to know these guys very deeply. If there's anything that can surprise you to this point about Bamba, what has it been since he arrived on campus?
You learn new things about the guy every day. He's got a lot of depth to him.
Yeah.
But, to be honest with you, Lowell, he's been a lot like what we thought he would be. Like you said, he's a great kid. He wants to win. He has a lot to learn. And when he's open and receptive, which is most of the time, he's a great learner because he's very smart. So, we're just trying to keep really expanding his bandwidth to be an aggressive, physical, everyday, dominating big man.
We're going to take another break so Shaka's voice can recover and my hip can recover. And when we return, we'll take a sneak peek at the next Big 12 matchup against Baylor coming up this weekend in Waco.